Hello and welcome to Wake Up with Dr. Cheryl. Our show is about transformation in wealth on all levels, whether it is money, assets, relationships, nature, spirituality, and especially love. There is wealth in all of these. It's time to wake up and save yourself and our humanity and planet. I was going to tell a joke, but I decided I didn't come up with one good enough, so I'm just going right into this. You cannot bring about prosperity by discouraging thrift. You cannot strengthen the weak by weakening the strong. You cannot help the wage earner by pulling down the wage payer. You cannot further the brotherhood of man by encouraging class hatred. You cannot help the poor by destroying the rich. You cannot keep out of trouble by spending more than you earn. You cannot build character and courage by taking away a man's initiative and interdependence. You cannot help man permanently by doing for them what they could and should do for themselves. By Abraham Lincoln. We have two change agent guests on our show this evening. This is the first segment of our two-part series with Glickstein and Dr. Hartman. Glickstein founded Speaking Circles International in 1989. He is an authority on leadership presence in the public speaking, offering coaching to clients ranging from top professional communicators to non-speakers with severe stage fright. He has facilitated thousands of speaking circles, workshops, seminars, and retreats, and has trained over 1,000 speaking circle facilitators worldwide. He is an author of Be Heard Now, Tap into Your Inner Speaker and Communicate with Ease. Be Heard Now, How to Speak Naturally and Powerfully in Front of an Audience, and an ebook, Speaker's Guide to Authentic Connection, The Alchemy of Influence Through Relational Presence. His elegantly innovative approach to leadership, presence, and authenticity led him to a team with Dr. Julie Hartman to form Stillness Partners, which is devoted to training individuals to bring out the best in each other through holding stillness for others. Their programs are targeted for business leaders and parents. Dr. Julie Hartman has had a thriving private psychology practice for 15 years that has successfully helped children, parents, and adults reduce the anxieties that often interfere with bringing out their best. She founded the Mindful Resource Center, MRC, to offer professional talks, workshops, webinars, and self-improvement products. Since mid-2013, she teamed up with Glickstein of Speaking Circles International and Regina Conquitelli, professional coach, to form Stillness Partners for the study and application of what she believes to be the most powerful method of bringing out the best in people through holding stillness for others. Dr. Hartman brings her neuropsychology, attachment, human development, mindfulness specialties to help people learn to hold stillness for each other as the key to unlocking the fullest prosperity contained within our co-creative human potential. With a special emphasis in helping parents hold stillness for their children, she is also mentoring parents in using relational stillness with their children as an antidote to the harmful side effects of the digital age. Welcome, 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 Lee and Julie, Dr. Julie. It's been a long time that you were on my show, one of my very first shows, which was back a year ago last, I believe, October or September. And I've invited you back, but you have another person here with you, which is wonderful because I know that you were an impetus for me to be able to feel more comfortable in speaking in the public. And now I've had my show and with relational presence, and I know now you've expanded into relational stillness. So I'm very excited. Thank you for being here, and I can't wait to get into this conversation. So Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Lee, tell us, tell the viewers about what you do and how you can help them.
Yeah, well, last time I was here talking about relational presence, moving people through anxiety into their authentic voice by being present with one person at a time in front of a group, not even having to speak. You know, that's the foundation of my work. And several months ago, what came through was that at the heart of relational stillness, no, at the heart of relational presence is relational stillness.
Yeah.
That kind of puts a finger on what it means to hold stillness.
So just in case people, you know, this was fairly new to me. It's not new. The whole concept is not new. I mean, I preach it too. But relational stillness, now to me, it's listening. Isn't that what, you know, to interpret, you know, break it down maybe in simpler terms, you know, for the viewers, that it's listening.
It's under the category, the broad category of listening. I mean, all leaders, they say listening, you know, that's the way to prosperity. You got to listen to people to find out what they want.
Yeah.
So in teaching listening, what we've discovered, and I want to hear Julie really talk about this after I kind of lay it down a little bit more generally, is that what's been missing in talking about listening, if you say you have good listening skills, listening implies the other person is talking. But there's something before listening, which we're calling holding stillness. That's pre-listening. It's the way to be with another human being that allows them to speak with safety and a sense of belonging in your field.
So I can interject to understand exactly what you mean is basically me as the listener. I need to stop thinking in my brain, like that race consciousness, whatever you want to call it, so I can be open to listening, engaging.
It would be a good idea, but I don't know that we can stop thinking. In fact, I don't stop thinking, but that's why what we've created is a place where, you know, you'd rather not think. But my full priority, even speaking with you now, is holding stillness for you. Even if other things are happening for me, I know how to be available to you. Now, once you're very good at being available to one person at a time, whether it's a one-on-one conversation or speaking to a group, you begin to not think so much because all your attention is on serving as a listener, as a whole.
Right. And I guess that's why.
So the thinking disappears rather than I'm going to stop thinking, which I can't stop thinking.
Well, I guess it's, you know, it takes practice. It takes practice to disengage your own thinking.
To disengage
process
from it, not stop it. But yes, you're right.
Disengage.
You don't entertain it.
Yeah, that was a better word. Disengaging.
Yeah,
that's
good.
Because I mean, you have to separate. You know, detach, whatever you want to say. I'm trying to ask questions so not only that I can understand on a deeper level, but that the viewers can understand. Because this is wealth in creating relationships. In relational stillness, meaning listening and communicating. I mean, that communication is the key in everything.
And it's all, and I know Julie's got something to say. I can deal it.
Okay, Julie.
But I want to introduce it that what we want, what wealth is bringing out the best in people around us, people we love, people we work with, people we're going to work with. To bring out their best is what leads to prosperity, and we need to hold stillness for them, and that's what allows the trust to build. So, Julie.
Yes, please, Julie, please.
So
I know you
exciting.
have a lot to say too.
So exciting. Right, well, we consider relational stillness to basically be the key that unlocks prosperity. We call it the work beneath the work that brings out the best in everyone. It's a type of paying attention. And through holding stillness for the other person. It creates a type of gentle focusing on the other person that optimizes all the key qualities of communication. So by me gently focusing on you and holding stillness for you, it's allowing you to have the emotional safety, if you will, to feel held in order to bring the best forward from you. And because I'm serving you in that way, it's optimizing my attentiveness, my listening, my focusing on the subtleties of what you have to bring forward. And it's the subtleties that equal abundance, in our opinion. And that work beneath the work, you're right, when you're able to practice it, and we have a really exciting systematic protocol that we've developed to help people actually relatively quickly develop this, then you're able to bring forward the best co-creativity between people, because it's this relational context that basically helps your gifts emerge, helps my gifts emerge.
It feels
magnifies prosperity.
Spiritually, it feels very spiritual to me.
It's a spiritual practice that has extraordinary professional development, leadership ramifications. These are the great leaders do this.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
But I mean,
we
when
can
you're explaining it, it's like I'm surrounded by this wonderful, ethereal. That's the only word I can come up with right now.
And what's interesting is we really consider it secular from the standpoint of we believe we're really magnifying and illuminating the radiance of human potential. That we have this capacity to come together and bring out the best in each other, to co-create abundance, prosperity, progress for the greater good of the individuals involved and then the whole of humanity. We consider it secular because it's really capitalizing on our human assets. And I'm kind of a brain geek, so I love neuroscience and kind of all these different ways that neurologically this is benefiting us. But I can definitely see what you mean by the spiritual feeling.
Explain what you mean about the secular. Just so we can get a little deeper understanding of what you mean.
Let me say something about that. We talk about sourcing from stillness. That stillness isn't just dullness or blahness, or stillness is radiance. Everything is happening in stillness, not nothing. And when we go into the protocol of being stillness partners and practicing coming from stillness, and we do business from stillness, so we're sourcing our decisions from stillness. Now, we say sourcing from stillness. Somebody could say sourcing from a higher power.
Well, yeah, it's all interpretation of
God,
linguistics.
Sourcing from the source.
Yeah.
And so people could put their interpretation of where that source is coming. Secular is that we're just calling it the stillness, right?
Okay.
Right. Right. And I guess why I sort of go for secular is I'm kind of a brain geek, neuroscience-oriented person, and as a licensed clinical psychologist, I sort of have kind of got my finger on the pulse of human development and neurology and this autonomic nervous system and these aspects of being human that I believe one of the things that we've tapped into with the relational stillness and this stillness partner protocol that we have is there's a synchronizing of the brain, the central nervous system. There's a nonverbal language that's transmitted through the eye gaze that is connecting. There's neurotransmitters, there's hormones called oxytocin, that's sort of the attachment hormone. So that's more what I mean by secular, is I kind of geek out on the humanness of this capacity, but absolutely, if a person is oriented toward interpreting some of these qualities as being sourced from the divine, I can't argue with that either.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess I just wanted to have it explained in, in a deeper, a little bit expanded level, so that the viewers can see all the different ways of looking at this.
Thank you.
And another good word to think of is oneness, because
Yes.
it's communicating from a oneness of humanity.
Well, that's what I learned from the very first session that I, did with you, was, the oneness with Mother Earth.
Yeah.
Pulling in from Mother Earth, so you feel that stability when you're standing up in front of a room full of people, and so that anchors you.
We're all connected through the great Mother Connector, through the law of gravity, and we can imagine the connection instead of I'm here and you're there and I have to do this to you. Right, it's the separation that creates the anxiety.
Absolutely.
When you could sense that there's a oneness.
Yeah. One of the other borrowings from nature and the magnificence that we use is how, a number of different kinds of trees, their roots are interconnected under the ground. And I believe it's redwood trees that they'll actually detect a sick tree in the flock and will be able to transmit nutrients or healing kinds of tree things to help that tree heal. Yeah. And so we often use the analogy in relational stillness to imagine that you're sinking down to the earth, the gravity of the earth, as a way to help bring that stillness, that grounding. And then imagine your roots are interconnecting under the ground as a way of, again, highlighting that we are connected, and it's through being grounded in that connection together that we can co-create and bring out the best in each other.
I always often talk about the palm tree, because the palm tree, when the storms come, it can go all the way over and all the way back and come back. And I like to use that because we need to recognize that as a source for us when the storms are coming and going, is that we bounce back physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually.
And still thrive.
And still thrive. Yes, not just survive, but thrive. And it all starts up here. It all starts here and here.
That's right, that's right.
Actually, the first step, it occurs to me in this practice, is sit there and let gravity have its way with you. Imagine you closing your eyes. You all could do this, maybe.
Yeah, you can kind of.
It makes me think, oh my gosh, is this part of the aging process?
Oh, gravity is having its way anyway.
It does feel a little funky at first, but then you're able.
Yeah, let gravity have its way with your energy. Let it drop down. It just wants to drop down to the center of the earth.
And that's the first.
And you can start to feel that you're not having to do any social smiling or signaling. You can get a deep calmness. This is a lot like meditation, only it's open-eyed and holding stillness for each other instead of just holding it for yourself. You're holding it
being aware
for another person.
It's a co-meditation.
Co-meditation.
A co-meditation or co-mindfulness meditation.
So expand on that.
Should we show an
well,
example?
We could give a sample of
how... Oh, that would be great. I mean,
this is free on the website, the protocol, do this exercise, like 1 minute each.
It's quite rainy outside, so we might be seeing a little bit of stormy outside.
The lights are flickering a little bit.
The weather outside is frightful, but in here it's so delightful.
You are singing, see? I asked him if he was going to sing tonight.
Relational stillness brings out voice,
But when you're totally in that spot, your place, my place, it's like, then you can be that creative source that you're supposed to be.
Without having to think.
Yeah.
We can't think ourselves out of a paper bag sometimes.
That's right. And what's interesting is, because of we do this now all the time, so we've been holding stillness for you. Clearly you've been holding stillness for us as your guests on the show. And we're able to find those synergy points of where the gifts inside you are merging with the gifts inside us. And it's sparking, I'd like to say for your viewers around
yes.
the how good it feels to come together and bring our gifts forward to create
And
prosperity.
this is perfect because what I talk about, like at the end of my show, I always close with saying, you know, unconditional love and love yourself unconditionally, and especially with your family and your friends.
We got to talk about Julie's family. You just brought up
please,
family.
please,
Because
no,
how does
no.
the thing that excited Julie and I got so excited about was my work in relational stillness, and me and Regina working on relational stillness, and then Julie with mindfulness as a psychologist. What does it mean to bring this to children and families?
Oh, yeah.
And she's bringing
See
it
that?
to her family.
Oh, that's where it starts.
To young, right? So I've
Do you
got
have children?
I do. I have a 4.5 and a
Oh.
4.5-year-old and a 2.5-year-old. I also specialize in child development and family harmony. And one of the things that I've found over the years is I've got all kinds of parenting tools since this is my career.
Yeah.
And sometimes I would, do something with my kids in a power struggle, and the power struggle would dissolve pretty quickly, and we'd be back to harmony. And friends or people would say, I use those same tools, and it doesn't quite work like that. And I knew it wasn't because I was a psychologist, and I figured out through working with Lee and really understanding relational stillness, one of the things I've been doing is I hold stillness for my children.
Yes.
Because children can't hold stillness for themselves yet.
No, yeah.
And when I hold stillness for children and it helps their central nervous system kind of go into a calm state, there's an emotional safety there.
Yes.
I'm bringing the best out in them. And it's optimizing the little tools that they have inside them that they're learning from school or that they've learned from me, so that we're co-creating a dissolution of the power struggle together. And they're just 4.5 and 2.5, but this work is so powerful
Oh my gosh.
and so fundamental, capitalizing on our human assets.
Absolutely. My daughter's 23, so I've been away from, but I can use this with my 23-year-old.
Oh yeah.
They do speaking circles. Julie and John, her husband, do speaking circles with the children,
Oh, I
and
love
they
it.
apparently love it.
Oh, yeah.
It's so cute. I mean, they've got their head upside down, and
Well,
they're doing their little kid thing.
they're kids.
That's so cute. But we'll say, a breath of relational stillness, 1 minute turn, starting with Shane, starting now, and they'll go.
Valuable. This is so
But this-
valuable.
Thank you.
Important to say that it needed to start with Julie and John, the parents, being partners.
Yes, as an example.
Yeah.
As an example, and then as practice. What's really interesting about this work is I think we've gotten along the way in our society enough training to kind of know, if I hold stillness for myself, if I kind of get into a still, quiet place, I'm going to be more responsive to you, and I'm going to be better for you.
Don't you think that's the key, though, to beginning? The first step
It
is
is.
being able to do that for yourself.
It is. I'll be quite honest with you. I used to think it was the first step.
Oh.
And then once I came into teaming up with Lee and Regina, I actually have almost completely overhauled my career, because we believe the first step is not actually holding stillness for yourself. It's holding stillness for the other person.
Well, sometimes it's easier. It's easier sometimes.
It's a type of focus that gets you out of the trappings
Yeah, okay.
that we get stuck in our own individual patterns.
Right. The ego. And
Exactly. It dismantles that a little bit more easily and naturally when you hold stillness for someone else. And quite frankly, when I'm holding stillness for you as a beautiful byproduct, stillness winds up occurring inside of me.
It's that catch-22 that works.
But see,
like that.
there's a
It's
lot
a
of
twofer. It's a 2 for 1.
yeah, there's a lot of people who have difficult challenge holding stillness for themselves. I'm one of them. That's why I had to do a workaround. People want to have a meditation practice. A lot of people who try, they don't really sustain a meditation practice. I like to say, no matter how hard, I haven't tried. I haven't been able to do meditation. But so I think I created this I can hold stillness for you,
Oh,
See?
okay. Yeah.
That I know how to do that.
I noticed
I
that.
think it's a
from-
meditative
And
experience.
then when I meet somebody who's holding it for me, we both go down to that place, and then I get the advantage of being in stillness for myself. But but so many people who don't get there directly say, oh, you know, if we were teaching, okay, meditate for 20 minutes now,
Right,
we
right,
lose 90% of the audience. But if I'm saying you don't have to be a meditator, just hold it for me. And he will do these practices, a minute, and you'll find
it is meditation,
and
but
then
that's okay.
boom, it is co-meditation.
It's a back door. It's a
Yeah,
workaround.
It's a way to get into meditation for ADD folks.
Yeah,
you know, like me.
exactly. Yeah.
It's a workaround.
I love it. No, thank you so much. I so appreciate it. I know we could go on, and you know, I'm just so honored that you came.
Thank you, Cheryl. It was
Very
fun.
honored in the work you're doing, helping people discover the range of ways of achieving wealth.
Yes, and thank you. I'll leave you with this. Never give up on your purpose and passion. Work with integrity and have a positive attitude wherever you work, and please, first and foremost, with your family and friends. Be grateful for what you have, who you are, and where you have come from, and be grateful for your freedom. And eat healthy. Good nutrition feeds the mind and your body temple. And don't forget to exercise. Feed your spirituality with meditation and prayer, with unconditional love. Love yourself unconditionally. Stop criticizing, judging, and allowing others to dominate the way you feel about yourself. And share your abundance and wealth with others. When you are engaged in your relationships, be present. Be mentally and emotionally present, 100%. Thanks for watching. When fear knocks, let faith answer the door. Money is like love. It kills slowly and painfully. The one who withholds it and enlivens the other, who turns it on his fellow man, by Kahlil Gibran. You are what you are and where you are because of what has gone into your mind. You can change what you are and where you are by changing what goes into your mind. By Zig Ziglar. Bye for now. Until next time.